Hey guys, it's Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. I'm home in my shed and we're going to start episode 62 of the Great Farm Cleanup. So even though I'm not at the farm, this episode is following up on our efforts to sell the vintage Caravan, the early 1970s Viscount Caravan. Last episode we dragged it out, we gave it a wash up, we had a bit of a look through it. I took a lot of photos for eBay. And since then, I've been to Tasmania to play in the Table Tennis Nationals. I've just got home now, but you probably won't see this video for another 7 or 8 days because I'll be off to the farm again the week after this one, and we'll continue our cleanup. So it's on eBay. It's been getting a fair bit of interest, and I'll show you the listing shortly. And it sells in, I think, just over 2 hours. So we'll watch the end of the auction. It's not overly high price at the moment, so I expect some sniping action. Let's have a look. So here's the auction listing for the van, and I've got a heap of photos here. And if you haven't followed my farm cleanup series or don't know much about this, check my last video on the farm cleanup series and it talks all about the van. The property's sold, the van has to go, and I did advertise. I kind of asked some questions on some Facebook groups about it because I didn't know what they were worth. I'll scroll through the pictures while I'm talking. I thought, you know, we might get 1,000, we might get a bit more. And numerous people told me they're very sought after. This one's in remarkably good original condition. It does have a couple of minor water leaks to the windows and, you know, some bumps and bruises. It's been used. But it has spent most of its life parked in the shed at the farm. So it really hasn't been used much in the last, 30 years, if at all, maybe once. Someone put new tyres on it at one stage. They still look brand new. A little couple of cracks to the windows. But it's a great example of an early 70s retro Australian-built caravan. And yes, by all accounts, they're very sought after. Numerous people suggested to me that it could bring about $5,000. Look, I'm not really concerned. I'm happy to have the eBay auction determine a winning bidder. There's even an annex and everything with it. The bottom line is that it has to go. The farm has been sold. It's been parked in the shed there for quite a long time and it needs to go. I'm not going to tow it anywhere. It's no longer registered and the farm is about 4 hours from where I live and I don't have room for a caravan anyway. So rather than try and advertise it at a higher price, I just basically thought, let's start it cheap at $1,000 and let it go as an auction, and whatever it gets, it gets. And if someone gets a bargain, well, so be it, because it doesn't really owe us anything. That was given to us from an uncle. So you can see it's well fitted out, all original upholstery, a little bit of water damage in a couple of corners. I don't know the extent of that. It's got a bifold door in the middle of it, and all the wood grain cupboards and all the stoves. There's a little bit more water damage in the front. I'm sure it's just come through the window seal. I even found the brochure for the annex, which is with it as well. So it presents really well in the photos. Now the listing has 2 hours and 12 minutes to go as we speak now. It's had 12 bids, so it's gone from $1,000 up to $1,350. And I think there's 66 watches on it. And the actual page has had, I think, over 1,500 views. So lots of people are seeing it. Of course, the winning bidder needs to be relatively local. There may be people thousands of kilometres away that would love it, but it's just impractical to pick up and that would add a lot of expense to it. But in saying that, I expect we're going to have some sniping action at the end, and I will film the last couple of minutes and we'll watch the countdown and just see where the price ends up, see what we actually get for the caravan. And then I'm aiming to meet people at the farm when I'm over there in about 10 days time, and I'll put the description up here. You can freeze the screen if you want to read it. But I was fairly precise on pickup dates because I don't want people stuffing me around, and I basically said do not bid if you can't meet the dates that needs to be picked up unless previously arranged, and no one has contacted me to arrange anything else. Sorry, I didn't get to the rest of the description there. So there we go. That's the story I wrote for it. You saw plenty of photos. I'm actually selling it on my dad's old account because it makes it easier for finances then, because the money goes back into the estate and the fees come out of the farm's bank account. So that's what we're up to. We'll tune back in here in just over 2 hours and see how the auction finishes. But at the moment, it's been steady on $13.50 for a couple of days, I think. A quick check-in on this auction now. There is only 46 minutes to go and no movement on price. So, yep, it's all going to happen at the end, I think. We'll be back here shortly. Okay, we're back here at the business end of this auction. We have 1 minute and 44 seconds to go. There. Oh, I didn't notice it's just jumped up nearly $300. It did go to $13.75, but that jump to $16.25 has only just happened. So there's certainly going to be some action in the last minute and a half. So let's keep an eye on the money figure here, and we'll see what finishes up. Now, I made a bit of a mistake finishing at 8 p.m. on a Saturday night because there's a footy final match on, a preliminary final in the AFL, and it's only just finished. So, and it was a nail-biter match. I was listening to it on the radio. Anyway, I guess if someone's dead keen on this, they would have put in a proxy bid or something. And, well, hopefully someone will chase them down. Now, remember, with an auction, it's important to remember, oops, jumped again, $18.25, that someone might be prepared to pay $5,000, but unless someone else is, it's going to stay low. So an auction only really ever shows you what the losing bidder was prepared to pay. $19.25, so it's nearly at $2,000. I'd certainly be happy if that's all it made, but let's see if it's got some big snipes at the end. 37 seconds to go. $19.75. It's going up in $50 lots. I reckon someone's going to punch in big figure soon. Right, 2025, 2068. There's a few people punching in, going berserk on their keyboards right at the moment. But I reckon 2118, I reckon probably a proxy bid could win it if it's a big figure. 2168, 11 seconds to go, 2600. Wow, the keyboards must be smoking. Any final bids? 2750. And just depends on automatic snipes. And we'll wait till the page refreshes. 2750 it's sold for. Look, I'm pretty happy with that. People were telling me it's worth $5,000, but, you know, you've got to factor in hiring a trailer and perhaps travelling many hours, and that's all, you know, time to people. It's all money. So $27.50. We'll of course lose some eBay fees over that. I think it's a fixed fee in this category, so I'll let you know on that what our final figure is. But $2,750 for the retro Caravan. That's not too bad. I'm glad we had some good action at the end. Now I'll check out who's won it, and I'll work out what fees we lose, and I'll be back with you shortly. So it's the next day, and I thought I'd better finish off this video. We'll make this a standalone video on selling the Caravan because I will be at the farm, but it won't be till next week. Now, the auction, I'm happy with the auction. I did probably make a mistake about the time that I had it finished, but then again, $27.50, and we only lose, I did look it up, less than $100 in fees because there's a fixed fee for vehicles on eBay. So I think it was about $75 or something. So we've made almost $2,700. And the guy's coming up, he lives locally. When I said, well, no, he lives in Victoria, so it's local for Australia. He still has about 3.5 hours drive, a very slow trip home. He's actually going to tow it home, but he's quite experienced at renovating and fixing up old vans. He's going to bring wheel bearing kits and grease to do the bearings, and he reckons, you know, the tyres look pretty good. So, and he's probably got one of those boards that you put across the back that you plug into your car for lights. So he doesn't have to worry about that. It sounds like he's pretty organised, but it will be a slow trip home. So he's probably looking at 8 hours return. So that adds a lot to the cost of the van for him. Plus he has to get a permit from the roads, Vic roads, as far as taking it on the highway when it's not registered. So I'm glad I don't have to organise any of that. And he's coming up to pick it up next week when we're at the farm, so I'll no doubt get some footage on that. So I think we did pretty well for this van. As I said earlier, it really didn't owe us anything. It had to go. I wasn't going to list it at a high price and have people sniff around and then change their minds. And because I can't meet them there to show them the van, we had to have this short window of pickup. I think this was the best option, and I think we can call it successful. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed a bit of auction action on eBay. It's always fun watching the bids go up at the end. And something else ticked off the list. We'll be at the farm next week, so we'll continue this series then. Thank you. We'll see you then. Bye for now.